Hey, it's Jeremy from OpticHouse.com. So this is the 100th Gerimi Drawing Comics video. So thank you so much for everyone that has stuck with me through 100 videos, for everyone that has liked or shared one of my videos. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are the reason that I'm making these. And I guess when you hit a big landmark like a 100, it causes you to reflect and think back a little bit. And I was reflecting on why I've been making these videos. And I guess the thing that compelled me to make these was honestly the type of person that I tend to be when I'm not at comic conventions. When I'm at a comic convention, I meet people that are enjoying the convention. I'm really excited to talk about my work and what I'm working on, why I create the stories I make or draw the paintings I make and see what people's reactions are to the things I'm making. However, in my personal life, I'm not a shy person, but I'm a very solitary person. I very much treasure the time that I have alone. I'm very insular, sometimes, to the detriment of friendships and close personal relationships. I don't spend as much time with friends and family as I should, or as I think most people should, because, making artwork unto itself is very demanding in terms of the amount of time it takes, writing, drawing, studying, working on my craft. But, even more than just the amount of time it takes to make the work, is the time that I spend alone feels very precious to me. It's almost like meditating. And when you meditate, you become very solitary and you're focused, you turn inward. And ever since I was a small child, I've been a very inward focused person to the degree of possibly a little bit of narcissism, but I think there's a little narcissism in all artists. That aside, I realize that one of the problems I've always had is that desire to isolate myself so I could focus on my work. And I started asking myself as I was going to conventions and seeing that people were enjoying the things that I was writing and drawing and were enjoying the art that I was making and that I could connect with people on a personal level, I thought, maybe there's a way to make art and not be so isolated. And what I was thinking about with these videos is trying to find a way to, instead of shutting the world out, to let the world in. I get comments from people and I try to respond to them, and when people ask questions, I try to respond. But what I've been thinking, what I've been trying to achieve with these videos that I make is letting you in on the inner monologue I have while I'm writing and drawing. We all have our inner voices, some encouraging, some exciting, some critical. Usually the critical ones have to be tempered, so that it's not about negativity, but simply about how can I make this better, is this better, and being able to analyze and break down your process. But, I think that every creative person has, for lack of a better term that doesn't imply madness, have voices in their heads. And what I wanted and what I've been trying to achieve is letting the outside world come in and hear those voices also, to literally bring the outside world into my mind, as opposed to shutting other people out to let everyone else in. Because if I have this running monologue and I'm constantly thinking and writing and analyzing and breaking down what I'm doing and, building it back up again and studying my anatomy and working on proportion and storytelling and composition, all these different things, I feel like there's some use in sharing that process and that struggle. I mean, I am a artist who enjoys looking at the work of other artists, and when I watch YouTube videos of other artists, I think, like a lot of people, you stand there and you're just amazed at the work that people can put out. When you watch someone who's truly a master at their craft, and just like a lot of you that are art fans or are artists yourselves, I look at that in amazement and wonder, and it seems like magic to me that they just make these beautiful things out of thin air. Now, what I feel like I have to offer is that I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still studying. I'm still struggling with my craft. You know, like I know a lot of people out there are, struggling to learn how to do the things that they want to have things inside them that they want to say and they don't know how to get the words out. I don't always know how to get the words out. I don't know how to get the words out sometimes when I'm talking to you. But with the artwork, I don't I don't always know how to express what I want to say. That painting is never as beautiful as that sketch in my mind, that poetry, that perfect image that you have inside that when you put it out on paper, it's not right. No matter how many times you redraw it and redo it and shape stuff around and shift it around, it never quite achieves what you aspired to originally. Sometimes you're lucky and you get close. Sometimes you're lucky and you discover something that isn't what you originally intended, but it's just as beautiful its own way. Maybe even better in its own way for going off in that other direction. But what I was getting at in terms of what I have to offer, or what I hope I have to offer, is that I'm not perfect. No person's perfect, but specifically my art's not perfect. I'm not downing my own art. This isn't a pity party. I'm not trashing what I make. I'm proud of the things I make, but I'm still so very, very aware of how much more growing and learning I have to do. And I think when you see the artwork of somebody who's polished, who's perfect and knows what they're doing, that's where it seems like it's a magic trick. Like I could never reach that. I could never do that. What pulling out of the ether these beautiful things that they do. But when you see somebody who is on the road, I mean, when I look at myself, if I'm honest, I feel about my own skill level that I have enough ability and I've studied the craft enough that it would be a waste for me to quit. It'd be a waste for me to give up and say, I can't do this. But I, by no means, am a master of the craft. And I think that's a really interesting place. I think it's a fascinating place. I feel like it's fascinating for me being there because I can kind of step outside my body and look at myself a little bit and say, yeah, here's a place where it's like the road where I started is so far behind me, but the road that I have to go is so far ahead of me that it's endless. It's like, I don't want to say that it's like being in the middle of a tunnel where there's no light on either end, because it doesn't feel like a dark place. It feels like a beautiful place, but it's a place of struggle. It's a place of strife. It's a place of conflict. But conflict is the heart of all story. It's the heart of all drama. It's the engine that motivates story. And that's what I'm sharing. I'm sharing my conflict. So thank you for staying with me for all these videos and hopefully for 100 more and 100 more after that. That's it for now. Check out my website, optichouse.com. If you enjoy these videos, please share them. Also, sign up for my weekly newsletter to get a free digital download and see what else I'm working on. Go be creative.